Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Future Space. I'm your host, Daniel Fox. Our guest today is Sharon Hagel. Sharon is the founder of SpaceKids Global, and on March 31st of 2022, she flew to space with her husband Mark on board Blue Origin's New Shepard. SpaceKids' mission is to inspire elementary students in science, technology, engineering, art, mathematics, and environment, also known under the acronym STEAM+, and also ensuring girls are equally represented. I interviewed Sharon and Mark back on June 7th of 2022 about their space experience. But today, though, Sharon is back to share with us her new campaign, a national contest for 8 students to form the first SpaceKids press squad, where the winners will fly to Florida for a 2-day adventure to interview engineers and spacecraft designers, tour Blue Origin, and visit NASA's Kennedy Space Center. Sharon, welcome back to the Future Space.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, this is such a great campaign, so of course I wanted to have you back on the Future Space so that we can share with the audience and with everyone out there what an amazing project and to hear more about it.
Well, you're absolutely right. It is all about the future of space. And what better way to do it is to bring 8 lucky kids from across the country between the ages of 8 and 12 to become our space reporters, where they actually have credentials. And we'll be interviewing the crew of our launch, as well as workers at Blue Origin, and going behind the scenes and getting a tour about how the new Glenn is being assembled. You know, it really is a rocket facility. So good times to come.
Now, I assume that their parents also will come along and get to experience a little bit of the of that world.
Absolutely. The 8 children plus their parent or guardian will be able to join the watch here at Kennedy Space Center at Blue Origin's Mission Control. And Daniel, if you haven't seen that Mission Control, it is out of this world.
It's so important to, I mean, you've worked with kids, obviously, of that age range, you know, with SpaceKids, and you've been doing presentation. What is the usual reception from these young individuals when you talk to them about space and all the excitements and the innovations and the future that is available to them? Is it something that's kind of a little bit foreign to them? Or is it something that they've been exposed and they're just looking to connect the dots between where they are? I mean, obviously, at that age, you don't have a specific path of, you know, where you want to get. But does that resonate with them? Does it really kind of creates this seed and where you know that their path is going to be changed for the rest of their lives?
Well, we focus on the elementary schools only. We stay in our lane. That means from age 5 to 12. And when I first started on this journey almost 10 years ago, I wasn't sure how we were going to be perceived with a child that young. But I will tell you that when I start to talk about space and the possibilities of bringing space to kids everywhere, you can hear a pin drop. We have their attention. Now we need to keep them engaged.
Yesterday I was interviewing Michael Masimono, that went up to space. It has several records, but he was telling me that even though, like, obviously his idea, his path did not really make sense until it got to high school, and then really the pieces were put together. But that turning point as a kid upbringing was when he was 6 years old and watching Armstrong landing on the moon. Now, he did not realize it at that moment, but, you know, moving on, he's in high school, he's looking for things, and that seed that was planted at 6 years old, looking up, you know, at this monumental event happening, now you could see how all the dots connected. I guess with the SpaceKids, you're looking into creating that seed so that by the time they show up to high school, that seed now has become something more important, and they can connect the dot, and now they're looking into moving to space, right?
Well, if you go back and look at NASA's graduating class of 2016, it was the first time in history that the crew was going to be 50% women, 50% men. And they interviewed the NASA astronauts, female astronauts, which, by the way, I wish we would just forget that and just call us astronauts. But they interviewed them and they asked them, when was the first time? Just like Michael said, 9 times out of 10, it's a first grade teacher. And that got me thinking and really started to form SpaceKids in my mind, was because I was here in Winter Park. Rollins College here had speakers that used to come in, and one of the guest speakers was Dr. Michio Kaku. And he said at the time, if you don't have kids hooked in math and science by 6 and 7, you're going to lose them. And that's become so true, especially nowadays. So how can we make learning fun again? That's our mission. And the only way that we do it is have hands-on projects. And what a great experience for these kids who are going to become space reporters.
Now tell us more about the contest itself. There are 8 winners. What's going to be the application process? What do they have to show? What is the selection process? Who's going to be selecting? Are you going to go and go There we go. You're gonna sign. I mean, I think that there is a value for having a contest and winners, right? I think life in general is a little bit more complicated than make everyone a winner. There's a value for competition. So how do you keep a great integrity and you select winners, and you also carry on even the investment that the others who did not necessarily win, their place on press squad, do have an option to continue after that and fulfill their interests?
We're always looking to partner with space companies. We're always looking for the next project. We've done several. We try to do 2 or 3 a year. We make it very diverse, whether it's an art project or an essay project or a scientific project. We sent 21 science projects to the ISS through our partnership with Making Space for Girls, which was a partnership with the Girl Scouts. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone. The competition itself is really simplistic this time. Just go to our website, fill out the entry form, and then sit back and wait and see what happens. This year, this time, we are actually doing a child from the military, one from first responders, and another one from Boys and Girls Club. And then the other 5 positions will be drawn randomly across the country, which is divided geographically depending on your zip code. So we want a little bit of everybody because space is for everyone. And we want to make sure that kids understand that, yes, these are great projects, but we're really trying to get them engaged, get them excited about living off planet. And what's it going to take? When I go into schools, I have children come up to me and they go, "Are you an astronaut? Have you really been to space?" And I go, "Yes." And then they go, "Can I be an astronaut?" So just at that early, young stage, if we can get them excited, oh my gosh, the world is full of possibilities.
Now, do the kids of that age see the difference between space and Earth? Like right now in our society, there's this ongoing opposition in narrative, the sector who see the space being at the expense of Earth, being a distraction, being diverting investment away from the necessity of mitigating issues that we have on Earth. At that age, when you talk to them about space, do they say, well, why don't we stay here first on Earth? Or do they just, for them, it's just a normal continuation of where we can go and want to go?
I think day by day it's changing, and it depends on what part of the Earth that you're actually speaking to. I know when I was in Kenya and I was talking to one of the private schools, they didn't have a word for space in Swahili. So the only way that they could actually interpret it to let the children know what we were talking about was that I went to the moon because I could see the moon.
How interesting.
But I think they have a grasp, and like I said, day by day it's getting better. We recently took 200 Title I school students in the 4th grade over to Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. And these underserved children really don't have the opportunity to look beyond what their neighborhoods are. So when you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, it's something that they know and have seen, and that's either a janitor, a homeroom teacher, or a cafeteria worker. These children's eyes lit up the minute that they saw the possibilities. Going to Kennedy Space Center, going into the Blue Origin simulator, seeing what the Earth looks so high up in the sky, and then having access to the gateway. It changed their lives.
So you have 8 kids that are going to be announced on what date? And from the announcement, what's the timeline and also the chain of events for them?
Well, the contest we opened in honor of National Space Day, which was last Friday. Our website is blowing up, so keep those registrations coming in because space is waiting for you. Contest closes on June the 14th. We'll announce the semi-finalists. We'll be choosing 3 students from every position across the country. And those students will have, I think it's 10 days to put together a 60-second video on explaining why they're excited about this, why they want to come, what are they looking for, what are their expectations and goals, and how are they going to interview people on camera. Which, by the way, that's one of the things we're working on now. We want to bring a news reporter in to teach these kids exactly that. Because as you well know, trying to talk to somebody on camera is totally different from just an audio.
Absolutely. Even doing podcast interview where you have to look at the green lights and it's the post-COVID landscape of doing interviews. So June 14th, you have the pre-selection or the first selection of semi-winners. And then the full winners will be announced when?
That will be announced August the 2nd. And those 8 children will then be introduced one by one to the public across the country, so that by the time these kids are here at Kennedy Space Center, at Blue Origin, people are going to know them. They're going to know how old they are and what was their expectations, and then they can follow them through the whole process. Because we're going to be interviewing them and finding out, well, what did you think a launch was really going to be like? And then afterwards, we want to interview them and say, so what do you think now? Did it change your life? These are really exciting things. And then to be able to take that information and go back to their local communities and share with them on how this changed their life. The other aspect that's really interesting is now they know people that are on that capsule, which gives them a totally different perspective.
August 2nd, that's like 2 days before my birthday, so that's going to be easy for me. 2 days before my 50th birthday, by the way, so 1974.
Oh wow, you're a Leo?
I am, yes. So
well, that explains it.
Yes, August 4th, 1974. So
well, happy
yes.
Early birthday.
Thank you very much. So it's going to be easy for me to remember and to set my timer to learn about the winners. Now, I assume that this is, I mean, there is the contest for these kids. There's going to be the opportunity. Is there a strategy to stay present in their lives after that and be available as a advisor or counselor or mentor? What happened to these lucky winners once this program, this experience is done?
Well, we do have all their information, and we send out newsletters of different activities that are going on. With the summer, it's kind of challenging because everybody likes to go on vacation and summer camps. But yes, we stay in touch with them. It's surprising, but not surprising, that a lot of these kids that have been with us from the early projects are still submitting applications because they found out it's so much fun.
Now, is that something that's going to be annually? Like once this is done and has been successfully achieved, are you looking to do another one next year or maybe in a couple of years, or every year you want to do something different? What's the plan for the future from this onward?
Are you asking me if I'm going to launch every year? I wish.
Yeah.
We are trying to come up with a lot of different things, and that's why we're reaching out to space companies. We need some new hands-on projects. We're looking for a satellite company to partner with, so we can have a contest on Name That Satellite. We're looking at possibly doing something with zero. Wait a minute. We're working with Zero Gravity again. They're a partner of ours, and perhaps the next project, hands-on project that comes up will be design your own mission patch, because we do a whole series on mission patches and all the hidden meanings and the secret messages behind each one, and the kids get really excited about that.
Fascinating. I mean, it's interviewing a lot of leaders in their own fields and how they got to be exposed to space or how they end up being who they are in life. And you go back into their journey and it's the exposure, right? One person at one point in their lives who left an impression and then changed and, the entire trajectory. And so, and if you think of, just the physics of distance, that tiny, tiny, tiny little push at the beginning ends up to be miles and miles difference, once, like years later, as opposed to us and older people. The effort needed to shift that momentum is a lot, and sometimes it doesn't come to fruition. But that little opportunity when they're young can make such a tremendous impact in their lives. So congratulations on doing the work. Sharon, is there any important information that you would like to share about the program or about the work at SpaceKids, or if it's not this in particular, what other opportunities there is, or where you're going to be? Anything else you would like to share right now?
I think it's important for kids, regardless of how old they are, to really understand that these opportunities come, and when they do, grab onto it, take hold of it. I remember sitting in my classroom in the 6th grade, and we were listening to a PA system when Alan Shepard back in 1961 became the first American to go to space. And I was 12 years old, and it was really exciting because nobody had ever done that in the US. Yuri went up the same year earlier, but the excitement that was all around that, it really made a difference. But as a child, you wonder, how's that going to work out for me? It's a long way from West Virginia to Kennedy Space Center. And I think the important message is you never know where you're going to end up. And if I had the chance to go back and tell that little girl, relax. You are going to be able to do some things and share and create some excitement and inspire these new kids and the next generation of space travelers. Relax. You've got this.
And relax and start to do it, right? It's always, don't worry too much about the outcome of it, the end. Take the first step, take the leap. I mean, so much, I'm pretty sure that if you and Mark look back at, all these, a life of experiences together, what you start with is not always what you end up with, but the first step was always the most important to create a series of action, the momentum. So when these kids, don't worry too much about the second, the third, the fourth step, or even where you're going. Just start, right? That's the most important.
Just take that first step, and you're on your way. I give total credit to Mark. He's the one that takes me out of my comfort zone. When we started on this journey to space back 17, 18 years ago, at the time I thought, oh, okay, that's going to be cool. That'll never happen. Wow. has things progressed, and not only are we excited to announce returning to space, you just never know what's coming down the pike.
Now, announcing you're going back to space, did I hear right? You're going back to space?
These kids will be interviewing our launch, our crew.
No way. So now, like you were getting,
Yeah.
so they are interviewing, and they're going to be watching you and Mark going up.
Right, right.
Amazing. I had missed that part, so now I'm just glad, I'm just glad that I got to.
Yeah, that's why this whole opportunity came about, because normally each astronaut with Blue gets to invite 8 people. And because we're a team, we are able to bring 16 guests. So the 8 kids plus their parent come out, and they become part of the space mission by being there at Blue Origin's Mission Control, interviewing our crew, interviewing people that work there, the rocket scientists, that's got to be pretty cool, and then getting a behind-the-scenes tour of the rocket facility.
Now, okay, I thought that you and Mark going back was still under still secrecy, so I just I just wanted to make sure I was not like unveiling the secret. But so
no. We can talk about going back. We just can't
Okay.
say what crew we are and what time we're going.
So these kids, so everyone, so that I didn't know that every astronaut passenger, get to bring eight
Guess.
friends or family guests. So you're choosing these young individuals, and they're going to come there for their parents. And obviously, because of the flight and because of the access, now these kids have the access. Wonderful. That makes so much sense.
They'll have their own little, space reporter credentials, and they'll have their little SpaceKids T-shirts on, and they really are going to be part of the mission. I think it's fantastic.
I can see that now. So they're gonna be front stage, being with you behind the scene with Mark and with all the others, right? They're gonna have access to a wealth of experience and stories. They're gonna have to interview them all, and then they're gonna watch you go up, and then they're gonna watch you come down. And are they gonna be like, when the capsule touches back, and then you got all the people going up? When we saw Shatner, with Bezos, and Shatner had this moment, and Bezos was trying to have him drink champagne. Are the kids going to be there also receiving you and Mark and the rest of the crew?
No. First of all, you cannot go out to the recovery for the capsule unless you're 18 years old. That's an FAA rule.
Okay.
So rather than bringing the kids out to Van Horn, Texas, in the middle of the desert, we decided, especially if launch date was delayed or scrubbed, it would be better to bring them to Kennedy Space Center, where Blue Origin has opened their doors, and they get to have carte blanche while on the rocket facility.
Excellent. Well, I know that the FAA is still a 18-year-old rule. It has that also with Space Perspective, which I'm hoping that one day is going to go down to 16 years old, right? In the end, you're just going up in a balloon. We allow a 16-year-old to sail around the world. We should allow a 16-year-old to go up into a balloon. So, and imagine at 16 having that experience, how impactful it is. Congratulations. Deciding to choose, these young individuals to experience something so impactful in their life. You're definitely going to be creating a generation of inspiring leaders. So congratulations again, Sharon.
Well, thank you. It's so important for all of us to share our stories, just to show them that there's a variety of things that you can be interested in. Space is for everyone.
It is. Well, it's the next frontier, just like North America was, after Europe in the 1500s. And then here we are. None of us would be here today had we stayed in Europe, right? These places offer an opportunity to start new, just like when the kids leave the family nest. It's not at the expense of the family or the parents. They go out and create their own success, their own failures, but they always do it with the intent of doing things better. And just that elevates the whole altogether. So space is that next place. Congrats on playing an important part of that mission. And again, I look forward for next time. We were together at ECAD recently, the Explorers Club. And wherever we meet again, I'm looking forward.
Well, thank you, Daniel. And I certainly appreciate you helping us get the message across the country. There's still time. Please, grandchildren, children, great-grandchildren, have them sign up. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. And we hope to see you there.
We'll put all the links in the comments, and also posting it on in a couple days. We'll just make sure that they have the information to reach out. So good luck on finding these lucky individuals. And like I said, the winners will be announced on August 2nd. It's on my calendar, 2 days before my birthday. And I'll be cheering to them, that's for sure.
I can't wait to see these personalities that show up. It's going to be fun.
Me too. Sharon, always a pleasure. Say hi to Mark, and good luck.
Until the next time.